If you want to have a real credibility with the C-suite, you need to be able to spend time with that C-suite and make sure you're having that engagement. You start to lose touch with the real empathy part of what we should be doing. And the only way to find that time is to do less deck building, less vendor management and reports. How do we get there? That's a hard thing to transform, that amount of time shift. And I'm not saying anyone's ever super successful at achieving this, but that's the goal, right? And the only way to get there, I'm going to say there's two ways to get there, but it used to be the only way to get there was to do fewer, bigger, better projects and making sure those projects are the most important projects that matter. And so there's a lot of effort in working with your boss or your senior leaders to make sure that the agenda you set, that the learning agenda that's in place is the most important things to work on and not the little ticky-tack stuff. I'd say with AI agents, we're going to be able to have a second opportunity to do this, to time shift, because we could have AI helping us build decks, helping us with vendor management. My AI agent could talk to your AI agent if you're a preferred partner, and we could get stuff done without even picking up the phone. And that's just around the corner, I believe. So that's another way that in the future we need to think about this time shift, because time's the only thing we don't have more of, right? So we really need to think about how we spend our time. And if you want to have a real credibility with the C-suite, you need to be able to spend time with that C-suite and make sure you're having that engagement. If you're not driven to drive influence and have engagement with stakeholders, and it's not fun always, right? That you're probably not fit for the function longer term. We still need doers, individual contributors who are doing the work, but in the end, a lot of that is probably going to get replaced with AI capabilities. The thing that won't get replaced is that human-to-human conversation and influence. Now, we might be able to influence a little bit with AI, but this is where the real skill sets that I think of the future that are going to stick, that we really need to continue to develop within the insights functions. And then there's about the actual work itself. I talk about a third of the time should be doing the work, the brief, the analytics, the digging into the data, the fielding, the findings, the report. But there's really a whole bunch of work that has to happen before the work to really make sure you're understanding the business problems to solve and translating that into the right work. Doing a lot of stakeholder interviews. If you've ever worked with the management consulting firms, there's a whole number of weeks where they are talking to multiple stakeholders to really understand the issues, the business problems to solve, and then identifying how any new work would solve them. And when you do this and you do it well, you realize one study is probably not going to cut it. You might have to bring in experts and have expert advisors and consumer research and collecting external data to partner with that work so that the findings are much more holistic to solve those business problems. There's a whole lot of work after the work, and that is the stakeholder workshops, the actioning, all of the things that happen, influencing, making sure that the work is landing in the business. And it's a continuous embedding. If it's a big project that's going to have multi-year impact, that continuous embedding is important. So if all we're doing is this center part, you really are probably not having the impact you could have.